we're probably not going to be super psyched about that, but okay.
Turn around the right way.
We're streaming. It's live. Okay.
School that you are coming from, and then the afternoon is 12 o'clock to 2:10ish. Again, depends on transportation and the home school that you are coming from as well. So the next thing that we want to talk about is just some general information, and Mr. Davis is going to give you that information. So thank you.
As Mrs. Hutchison said, my name is Mr. Davis. I'm the assistant director here. And I wanted to remind each of you that are tuned in or maybe watching this at some point that information is readily available on the Greater Lafayette Career Academy. Your best source of information is our website, which is glcareeracademy.com, and you can find out information about our programs. You can find a student handbook. You can find a curriculum guide that talks about certifications and dual enrollments. You can also find out the latest news. Usually we post that on the front of our web page, where you can just basically open the web page, make one click, and find out the newest announcements associated with the Career Academy. We also have a Twitter site, and you can pick us up on Twitter. Just go in and type in that same address, at GL Career Academy, and we'll pop up, and we're posting things somewhat regularly normal on Twitter when we have things to put out. A lot of program videos out there right now, and also some announcements concerning activities going on here at the Career Academy. Well, if you've tuned in now at the 5 o'clock segment, we're going to take you on a virtual trip inside the building to the criminal justice room, and we'll introduce you to the instructor when we get there. So I'm going to have the tour, and we'll start making our way to the room now. So our building was open for the first time in August of 2019. We currently house 8 programs here in the Career Academy. We also have some programs that we house at off-site locations. You'll get a chance to meet our SKU instructor here a little bit later. This is the entryway area and foyer of the Career Academy.
Over 23 years at the Lafayette Police Department. I retired from there, and for the last 14 years I've been teaching this course to high school students. We start out usually in the classroom, and we talk about the history of law enforcement, where it came from, how it originated, and what the future is. We deal with the ranking files of police departments, what the people's functions are, and different things, and get a good feel, get a good foundation in the classroom before we ever start doing anything out in the lab. We also deal with criminal law, traffic law, civil law, landmark cases, and we spend some time with courtroom procedures. In this class, we actually have 2 classes. One is Crim 1, and Crim 1 is going to deal with what the prosecutors would look at as the officer on the street and what they do. They generate a lot of the paperwork for the prosecutor because they handle the initial calls. They be the officer you see in uniform in a police car that's marked, and they're driving around patrolling, and they're answering calls as they come in throughout the day. The other class is Crim 2, and that's more of an investigative type class, and police operations class. It's more of what you would see the upper echelon doing, or a detective when they go out to investigate a crime scene and how they function at the crime scenes. And that's what we do in here. These classes are dual credited, which if you came here and took both years with me and pass everything, you'll walk out with 15 college credits at no cost to you. right now, and it's a great deal. It's basically a semester of college you can do without being on the university campus. In the lab work, though, in the CRIM 1 class, the patrol officer, we do get some hands-on, and we deal with what it would be like to, say, handcuff. We learn how to put handcuffs on a person. We understand how firearms work, and we deal with firearms safety. We work with the batons. We work with the things that a patrol officer would have. And if, on your way out, I've got some stuff sitting on a table over there. If they want to do it now while I talk, take some pictures of that so you can see what it is and get a little bit of a feel for the materials or the items that we work with. There, and you'll see there rubber guns, the duty belt, flashlights, police radios, type radios. In the afternoon class, we do things with investigative, so you'll see the fingerprinting material and stuff sitting there. Then in the CRIM 2, when we're doing investigations, not only are we identifying the evidence, we talk about the chain of custody with it and the importance of that for the courtroom. We will deal with how you tag it, how you bag it and collect it and make sure it gets processed so it can go into the courtroom so that we don't lose cases on those things. We do things with body language. We do things with deceptive behavior. We spend a lot of time on communication skills, the ability to communicate, talk to people, interview people, interrogate them, and this type of stuff. In the investigative class, we have one whole segment we do on serial killers, what makes them tick, what makes them function, and why, to the best of our abilities. So we do a lot of things that way. I try to get guest speakers in here. Matt Guard, Lieutenant Guard from the Lafayette PD was here our last day of school and went through fingerprinting so the kids could learn how to fingerprint and the importance of it, how to lift fingerprints, and things of that nature. So then there's a lot of fields, a lot of areas you can go into in this field, and it depends on what you want to do. One of the other things we do in the CRIM 1 class is defensive tactics. And we do a whole lot of defensive tactics, and that's good whether you go into law enforcement or not. But there's a lot of need for police officers. There's a real big need for records clerks, dispatchers, so there's a lot of fields on that. Did you have any questions coming up here? Okay.
I have a couple.
Okay.
So they can't hear you, or they can't hear me, so I'll feed you. Where would you go next after you take this course?
Okay, the question was, where do you go next after you take this course? You've got many options. The one hard thing with criminal justice is, in the state of Indiana anyway, you can't be a police officer till you're 21. So when you graduate at 18, 19 years old, you've got a kind of a void in there. And you could go into the military, which I've had several former students do. They go into the military and they get some background there that they bring it back to the police departments. You can go to college and get a degree in anything, but you could also study criminal justice and come out and put it to work in the field. Or you go get a job and be in a job if you want to stay in that field. Dispatchers, as I mentioned, they're always in the need of dispatchers. And I've seen, we used to have them down at the police department at Lafayette where we would have full-time college students, but they would dispatch midnight to 8 and then go to college during the day. And that way they have an income coming in and it's not such a major expense to go to college. So there's a lot of different things you can do that way.
Okay, the other one I have, so between CRIM 1 and CRIM 2, is that like a path from one to the next, or are those completely separate things that you might
Like a prerequisite?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The question was between CRIM 1 and CRIM 2, is there a prerequisite? And no, not necessarily. There'll be a little bit of an overlap. Communication skills, I think, are important for both of them, and anybody that takes both, I think it's worth listening to them both. But they kind of separate themselves from what you see the patrol officer do and what you see an investigator do. So they're totally broken apart there, so you can do either one in the manner in which you want to take them. To take them in the proper chronological order, CRIM 1 and then CRIM 2 would be the way. But you won't lose anything if you take it in the opposite order.
And then how much a percentage do you feel like each class is for hands-on versus
Okay. Percentage of hands-on. At the beginning of the class, we spend a good portion of the time in the classroom trying to build our foundation, understanding why you can do what you can do, and get a feel for the students and myself with each other. And then as time progresses, we spend more and more time in the lab. A lot of it, the time period depends on the students and their progression, but hopefully towards the end we're at least 50% in the lab. Do you have any other questions or anything come in?
I think that should get us going. I'd say let's thank them and let them know that there'll be the next session starting in a few minutes.
Okay, thank you very much, and if you have any questions, please get hold of us here at the Career Academy. Thank you.
And we'll see you guys in just a few minutes here for the next session. Thank you very much.
Good evening, afternoon, evening. Welcome to the second segment of our first ever GLCA virtual open house. During this segment, we will highlight our work-based learning and education professions program. My name is Jay Davis. I'm the assistant director here at the Greater Lafayette Career Academy. I want to thank those of you tuning in live to us for joining us. If you missed the broadcast, we'll be making recordings and putting them on our website very soon. The purpose of this open house is to inform students, give them kind of a virtual look inside our building, and also a chance to meet the instructors that they will have when they begin coming here in the fall. A couple of general notes I'd like to mention. Transportation. We get a lot of questions about transportation to and from the Greater Lafayette Career Academy. All of the school corporations that send students here provide bus transportation. We're located right on the corner of Teal Road and 18th Street in the old Lafayette Life Insurance Building. And one note is that currently the entrance to our Career Academy is off of 18th Street. The Teal Road entrances were for the old building, and they're no longer functional right now. So if you want to enter our building, you'll want to come south on 18th Street from Teal Road and take your first left-hand turn up to where the primary entrance to the building is. Buses will pull in each and every day for pickup and drop off, and students are also allowed to drive. We have ample parking, and I'm going to have our technician give you a little view of our parking lot right now. So I think we have somewhere around 250 parking spots out here, so plenty of parking for those students who choose to drive each day to and from the Career Academy. We have two class sessions here at the Career Academy. We have a morning session and an afternoon session, and the morning session runs from approximately 8 in the morning until 10:10 in the morning, and then our afternoon session begins around noon and lets out somewhere around 2:10 p.m. each day. If you want to stay up to date on happenings here at the Career Academy, please go to our website located at www.glcareeracademy.com. You'll find resources such as student handbooks, curriculum guides, which will give you information about dual credits and certifications you can earn in our programs. We also have an active Twitter page now. Also use that same web address to find our Twitter account, and we're posting videos and upcoming events on our Twitter account as well. So enough about the introductions. You guys that are tuned in want to learn more about your program, so we're going to take you inside and we'll let you take a little virtual tour around the first floor of our building and walk you down to the education's professions and work-based learning classroom. We are nearing what we like to call the atrium part of our building. A lot of students like to hang out here. We have plenty of USB connections to charge phones or to work on homework, plug your laptop in, plug your phone in, so plenty of time to spend here. Also wanted to let you know as we're walking down to Mrs. Vernon's classroom that the GLCA will comply with all decisions set by the school corporations in Tippecanoe County, along with the Tippecanoe County Health Department in regards to COVID-19 safety, procedures, and regulations. This local guidance will help to create the safest possible environment for GLCA students and staff. This is the back hallway we're coming down on the first floor of the Career Academy as we make our way down to the Education Professions Work-Based Learning Classroom. And we've arrived to the classroom. So I'll be turning the microphone over to our work-based learning and education professions instructor, Mrs. Vernon.
Good evening. I'm Mrs. Vernon, and I'd like to take an opportunity to talk to you just a little bit about a couple of programs that we have at the Greater Lafayette Career Academy that you might be interested in. First of all, I'll talk a little about the Education Professions program. And, you know, if you've thought about being an athletic director, or maybe you want to be a coach or a school guidance counselor, classroom teacher, or even an administrator, social worker, then this might be a program for you to consider. So here's how the program works. You'll come to the GLCA for 1 day a week, and then the other 4 days a week you're going to be able to go out into the local community, into the preschools or elementary schools or middle school, and take a look and see what it's actually like to be a teacher. During semester 1, you will spend the first 3 weeks here at GLCA, and during that time we're going to do things that will help you when you get to the classroom. And we'll do things such as develop and deliver instruction, learn how to teach in small groups, create and execute lessons, take a look at and differentiate learning styles of students, recognize individual learner needs. We will take a look at or utilize constructive playtime, and conducting reading and story time. So those are some of the things that we will help you learn in order to prepare you to go out into the community. So you'll spend the first 3 weeks, or usually until around Labor Day during a typical school year, learning these things. And then after that, you'll spend 1 day a week here at GLCA. And then the other 4 days a week, you're going to go out into the community and visit those other schools. Now, if you have a certain teacher that you really have enjoyed, working with, or maybe you had that person in class, what better way for you to learn their secret to success than perhaps being with them? So if you have a particular place in mind, we can help establish that as long as the teacher and the principal approve. If you're not sure exactly where you want to go, then we have to have you narrow down maybe your grade level desire, or perhaps the school that you'd like to go to, and then from there, once we get permission from the principal and teacher, we can put you into that placement. So we do a lot of other different things with our Education Professions program. If you've ever heard of a Junior Achievement JA for a Day, we like to have students participate in that because it gives you an opportunity to experience other teachers and other classrooms. If you work with first grade, all of semester 1, you might never know the joy of working with a 4th or 5th grade student. And let me give you an example of this. My mother taught first grade for 39 years before she retired. Absolutely loved it. It was the ideal job for her. She said first grade was the best grade to ever teach, and she would never consider moving to a different level. Well, then once she retired, she decided she got bored at home, and so she did some long-term subbing for some other teachers at different grade levels. And what she discovered was she was wrong. The first grade was terrific, but there was a lot of joy in those 4th graders or 5th graders or 3rd graders that she missed out on all of her career. So when we participate in the JA for a Day, it gives you an opportunity to experience some of those other classroom grade levels and other teachers and other school buildings to see what the different climates might be like. Another couple of things that we did this past year, we went to Be a Teacher Day, and this was a program down in Indianapolis. And for Be a Teacher Day, it was sponsored by FCCLA, and they put together several workshops or sessions that talked about going to college in the education profession arena. and they took a look at student loan payments and what the life of a college student might be like, and what your student teaching opportunity and experience might be like. And the kids really enjoyed that day. And then we went and had dinner downtown Indianapolis, and then the students got to go to a Pacers game that evening. So it was a really, really fun trip. But it just had a lot of opportunities for bonding with the students in class. So that was a lot of fun to do. Another thing I would like to kind of tell you about is our dual credit opportunities for education professions. We have right now 12 credit hours available with IB Tech for both education professions 1, and then if you complete the second year in education professions 2, there are 12 credits available, and we already have that articulation agreement in place. We are currently working with Purdue to try to get our plan going for the next couple of years, so that one is still a work in progress, but we have the IB Tech dual credits already in place. They're ready to go, so you do have those opportunities available as well. Once you get out of high school and you have those dual credits, you can use those to be applied towards your teaching license as you go through the program, or you may be able just to use that to go right into the workforce if you'd like to be a teacher assistant or work as a teacher's aide during the school day. So that's a little bit about the Education Professions program. Do you want me to go on to work-based learning, or do you want to address any questions about ed professions?
I think you did a really good job covering all the ed profession stuff that we had. I didn't see anything new pop up, so let's go ahead and this one out.
Okay, very good. Okay, so with work-based learning, this is a program where students are eligible to go to school for a half a day and then have an early release schedule for the other half of the day. When you are released, you are able to go to work in hopefully a career that is something related to what you want to do when you get out of high school or even college. Students have to work 15 hours a week, and during that 15 hours a week, you also have the opportunity to earn up to 6 high school credits, which also can work as electives for your diploma, and that is for a two semester program. Now you will come to GLCA 1 day a week, and then the other 4 days a week you are able to go out and start working. During the 1 day a week we're at GLCA, we do a lot of things that will help you refine your skills. But one of the more important things that we work on is your e-portfolio. With your e-portfolio, we help you develop your resume, your cover letter, how to fill out applications either online or on paper properly, how to do interviewing. And this is good not just for the job market, but also for college applications and college scholarships. So it's not just for the workforce, but also has a lot of other good applications as well. Some of the other things that we like to cover, but you'll really get more of an opportunity to learn these things with your real world experience, is things like what we call soft skills or your essential skills. And both employers and college professors really try to hone in on these skills, and they say that they can teach students how to perform an operation, but these are some things that it's hard to come by, like time management or cooperation and good interpersonal skills, teamwork, communication, leadership. You learn flexibility, adaptability, problem-solving skills. Again, these are things that as you are working, you are refining on your own, and it really goes a long way in the employment field and also in the collegiate field. Some of the different career paths where we have students working, we've got students that are in hospitality and tourism, we've got a lot of students that work in retail, marketing or merchandising, culinary arts, healthcare, veterinary care, financing and banking. So we have a lot of opportunities for students to try out different career areas to see if they might like it. And it's not only tells you what you do like to do, but it also shows the student what they don't like to do. And these two programs I like to call the Try Before You Buy program, because it gives you a chance to get out there and see what it's like to be a teacher or to work day in and day out in the educational field. Or if you want to go into hospitality and tourism, is that just that's just not working on a cruise ship, but it's also booking opportunities for you to visit Lafayette or visit West Lafayette, or to see what's happening in downtown Indianapolis, or to be some sort of an event planner. There's a lot more that's involved in all of these opportunities. So again, it really gives you that chance to try it out before you get to college. And it's so important for you to take a look at your different career areas before you get to college. I know a lot of students change their majors 1 or 2 times, 2 or 3 times, but every single time you change your major, it costs money and it costs a lot of time. And I'm going to sort of conclude with personal experiences, if you will. My oldest daughter thought she wanted to be a pharmacist, and she had done all of the research. She knew exactly what college she wanted to go to, who had the best program. And mind you, this was a 5-year, $60,000 a year investment. So we're talking about $300,000 she wanted to put towards her education, which is fine. That's what she really wanted to do. So she did a work-based learning internship her senior year, and she discovered within a couple or 3 weeks that pharmacy was not at all what she thought it was like. And she was really disappointed because she thought she had done the research. She looked it up online. She watched videos, and she really thought she had a good handle on it. My niece is a pharmacist, and she talked to her all the time. And like I said, she really thought she knew what it was going to be like. But once she experienced it for herself, she decided it wasn't in the cards. So her second semester, she still worked at the hospital, but was in a different department. She absolutely loved it. So she went on to college. She majored in biology, and then she went to grad school, and she she just graduated in May, and she is a certified physician assistant now. And, had she not had that experience as a pharmacy, or working with a pharmacy, she might have just gone down the wrong path. And like I said, it's a $300,000 investment, so that's a lot of money to consider, and a lot of time as well. Then my youngest son, he had an awful lot of dental problems when he was younger, and so his orthodontist really had a huge impact on his life. She was very inspiring, very positive, very enthusiastic, and so he thought, maybe I want to be a dentist or an orthodontist. So he did an internship with her, loved every single minute of it. He continued to go back and work during the summers for her, and now he's getting ready to start his 4th year of dental school, and so that was a huge influence on him. So it worked out just perfect, and from the get-go he knew that it was the right decision, but he might not have known if he wouldn't have had the experience. All right, then finally I'm going to end on my youngest daughter, who, in high school she had no idea what she wanted to do. She was just clueless. She took a few classes here and there. Nothing really struck her interest, but she thought she had an obligation right out of high school to go to college, so she did. And, she took a class here and class there, and again, nothing was spurring her interest. And after a year, she didn't do very well. She was pretty disappointed because she still had no clue what she wanted to do. So she took a gap year. She worked and saved quite a bit of money, and then she went to Bloomington, and she's now finally found a path that I think she's going to enjoy, which is terrific, except that, she's almost 22. Her best friends are all just about done with college, and they're getting ready to start their careers, and she still has 2 or 3 years left because she wasn't sure what she wanted to do. She did not have those experiences or any sort of a program that inspired her when she was younger to really give her that, burst of enthusiasm or energy for a career. So, there's not a thing wrong with changing your mind as you go to college. You can change your major, and sometimes you can do it pretty seamlessly without it adding a lot of time or a lot of money. But if you can kind of explore some of these career areas first, it can give you a leg up on the competition and help really get you there just a little bit faster. So with that, I will entertain any questions. One thing I guess overlook on the work-based learning, I know some students come to the program and they already have a job, and that's great. They can, keep that job if that's something that they are wanting, to stick with for the rest of the year. But you never know what opportunities might present themselves. I had a student who had a job she loved. This past year, she really, really enjoyed it, but her true passion was in hospitality and tourism. And so about 2-3 months into the school year, we had an opportunity opportunity where she was able to join a hospitality employer, and that really showed her the ropes, and so we were able to sort of switch gears a little bit. She ended up keeping both jobs just so that she could make a little bit of extra money. But some students come in with a job that they want and are able to keep it. Other students, partway in the year, they may just have a change of heart, and there's nothing wrong with trying to explore different opportunities. That's how we learn, and that's how we grow, is being able to see different things. And the same with our education professions. Do you have to have the same teacher for the entire year? You absolutely do not. In fact, I encourage students to try different grade levels and different teachers, maybe in the same school, but I encourage you to try different opportunities in order to see what else is out there.
Okay, so I guess one of the questions, and they can't hear me very well, so you're going to
Okay.
basically read the question.
Okay.
But, so it sounds like, coming into the program, if they don't have any work experience, what does that look like?
If they come into the program with no work experience, we will start off on their resume and try to get this built up for them so that when they go out to employers, they've got something they can take with them in hand. And no one has zero work experience, because if you have a dog at home, I'll bet you've had to take the dog out for walks, or maybe you've got a grandma that you have to help her with her garden because she doesn't get around very well. So there's all sorts of opportunities in your life that can count as some sort of experience to show that you're responsible and that you can perform a job. So we will help work on some of those skills. And then with that, and after really doing some sort of self-exploration so that we know where the interests lie, that will help us go out and try to find a job that will make the student get some accessibility to some career choices.
Okay, then secondarily, so what if the worst happens and they lose their job? How's that going to affect their course?
Okay, well, that's one of those gray areas, because it all depends on what the situation is. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Several years ago, I had a student who called in sick, and what happened was he went out and went fishing all day, and the employer caught him out fishing, and so he was terminated. And from that point, we had to remove them from the program, because that's one of those issues where it's pretty black and white. You violated the company policy, and things such as theft or too many no-call, no-shows. Those are more situations we can draw a line in the sand with. However, there are going to be some issues where maybe the student's laid off because the economic turndown has forced layoffs in the company. So if a student loses their job through no fault of their own, then we are able to try to find another job, or maybe they will find another opportunity. But we work with them very closely to try to get those so we can recoup and recover those credits. So again, I can't definitely say one way or the other, because it really does depend upon the situation.
Awesome. We should be for outro. So, quick thank you.
Okay. Okay, very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your summer. If you have any sort of questions, please look me up on the GLC website and give me an email so I can try to respond.
Some general information about the GLCA. We opened this building in August of 2019. I'm standing outside the main entrance of the Career Academy at this time. Our entrance is actually on the back side of the building. We're located at the corner of Teal Road and 18th Street, but to access our building at the current time, you'll need to come in off of the 18th Street entrance. So if you're going south on 18th Street, you would pass Teal Road and you'd hang your first left to enter the parking lot of the Career Academy. Transportation is always a question students have about the Career Academy. How are they going to get here? How are they going to get back to their schools? Or how are they going to get home after class? Well, all three of the school corporations that send students here to the Career Academy provide transportation. So if you want to catch a school bus here in the morning and back to your home school, or here in the afternoon and back to your home school and then home, transportation is provided. The area I'm standing in is kind of where our bus release area is. I'm going to have our cameraman kind of do a quick scan here of our parking lot. So if you do drive to the Career Academy, if you have your own car or you have somebody that wants to drop you off and pick you up, we have plenty of parking available out here right now. 250 plus parking spots available for our students. So if you drive here to class, you'll be able to park nearby and make it into this primary entrance that I'm standing in front of right now. We have an afternoon session and a morning session here at the Career Academy. If you come here in the mornings, your class is going to begin around 8 a.m. It's going to end about 10:10 a.m. And if you come here in the afternoon, you'll arrive here around noon, and your release time will be about 2:10 p.m. in the afternoon. We have some great resources for you guys to utilize if you want to find out more information about the Greater Lafayette Career Academy, and if you want to stay updated on events and important happenings that are going on. Just on the web, you can go to www.glcareeracademy.com. Have a lot of resources there for you, student handbooks, curriculum guides, information about certifications and dual credits that go along with our programs, as well as usually in the banner on that page as well, we'll have information about events that are going on. There was actually a link to this event up there, information about our Summer Bridge program. So turn into the website for all of the most recent happenings going on here at the Career Academy. We also have our own Twitter account now that's active. We've been posting some videos and some information about some of our recently graduated students. So go to that same as the website, the @GL Career Academy, and you'll find our current Twitter feed. Well, we're going to let you find out a little bit more about our culinary arts program. So we're going to start making our way to the culinary arts program. It's kind of a long walk. It's one of the farthest away from the main entrance, but we're going to kind of take you on a virtual tour through the Career Academy as we make our way down to the culinary arts program, where our instructor will then tell you a little bit more about the program. So I'm going to go off the air here for about the next 30 seconds, and we'll walk you into the building and start you down toward the culinary arts room. So this is the atrium area of the Career Academy. A lot of students like to hang out here when they come in and when they get released from class, either waiting for a ride or waiting for a bus to come and pick them up. A lot of areas for students to just kind of sit and relax, visit with each other, charge your phone or laptop. So that's a nice little area. This was all brand new when the building was built, so you'll enjoy being in this area if you come over to the Career Academy. So we're on the lower level of the Career Academy now, and like I said, the Culinary Arts Room, we got a little bit of a walk here, and as we walk along, I would like to offer the following statement to you. The GLCA will comply with all decisions set forth by the school corporations in Tippecanoe County, along with the Tippecanoe County Health Department, in regards to COVID-19 safety procedures and regulations. This local guidance will help to create the safest possible environment for GLCA students and staff. As we make our way into the Culinary Arts Lab area, I'd also like to thank our technician for the building for helping put this together tonight, and also our administrative assistant for helping along the way. Couldn't have done it without them. We're entering the culinary lab now. You can see state-of-the-art equipment in here. As we make our way around, I see Chef Chad Young over on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and hand the microphone off to him, and we'll let Chef Chad take over and tell you a little bit about his program.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Davis. So welcome, everyone. This is the Culinary Lab for Culinary Arts 1 and 2. That is what we are currently offering here at the GLCA. I'm just going to share a little bit about what our program is and what we have to offer in terms of student learning and job training and all of that good stuff. So if I could direct your attention, I don't know, Jeremy, if you can get that, probably not in there. I have a little guide for you to follow along with me. And basically, this just gives us a brief outline of what Culinary 1 and what Culinary 2 have to offer. So our students have the opportunity to, when they enter, to take safety and sanitation. And basically what that is exactly what it sounds like. Learning how to prepare food safely, and proper sanitation is being applied as well. So we start out with what we call basically like the bottom of the line, basic learning of food safety and sanitation. And then we go into Serve Safe. Serve Safe is basically a food and beverage safety program that's accredited by the National, well, it's administered by the National Restaurant Association, but it's accredited as well. Accreditation is important because that means those students can earn a certificate, and the certificate is good for 5 years. And they take it, they could take it for free. Normally it would cost that student $40, but with what we do here, it's part of the curriculum, so they take it for free, and it's good for 5 years. They could take that certificate to their employer and basically maybe even get a raise, or a raise. What am I trying to think of? Promotion. There we go. Geez, lost my train of thought there. So a promotion within their food service establishment as well. And that basically means they can go to a shift leader, become a shift leader instead of a crew member, maybe even move into manager status. So it's very, very important for those students to have. And they're at that level now that they really need those credentials behind them. Anyway, I have an example of the certificates here. This is the food handler, and there's 2 different categories of Serve Safe accreditations that you can get, or certifications that you can get. One is the food handler, and then one is the manager certificate. So the food handler is the one I'm holding here, and this is a current student that achieved the certification even over COVID. She went online, and we studied together. She went online and studied together online. She went and took it and passed the test, and then she has a certificate that she could take to her employers, and she actually did get a raise. She communicated with me that she did get a raise, and so that's good. So the food safety, the handler, it cost money as well, but with COVID and with the circumstances, those students got to take it for free. So we took advantage of that, and we had a total of 8 students pass that exam out of the 11 that took it. So I was very proud of them. So that's a good thing. All right, so safety and sanitation is very important, and that's the very foundation, probably one of the most important things in the food service industry. So we really spend a lot of time on that. Then we jump into knife skills. Knife skills is basically learning how to properly hold the knife, learning to work with different knives, and knowing how those knives, what's going on? Knowing how those knives are, what the proper use of them are, because all knives are not the same. All knives are not created equal, and they do have specific purposes. So they learn how to use different knives for the different skills that we are applying to what we do in the curriculum. Soup, stocks, and sauces is next, and basically it's what it says, soup, stocks, and sauces. So we start with learning how to prepare a proper stock, and then we take that stock and then we make the mother sauces from it, which is the 5 grand sauces or mother sauces. And then from there, we take those stocks as well and some of the sauces too sometimes, and use those to make soups. And we do cream-based soups and broth-based as well. So they learn how to, apply different techniques to the different style of soups that they're making. Dry and moist heat cooking methods, obviously, that's very important. Dry heat cooking methods, grilling, roasting, sauteing, all of those things apply directly to what we do in the food service industry, and they learn those skills. We do basic things, though. We don't really try to reinvent the wheel or try to be creative yet. We want them to learn the technical skill first, and then we can apply that and be a little bit more creative after that. So that's very important, and I really stress to them that it's all about the technique and not so much focus on the creativity part of it. Yes, do we want it to taste good? Absolutely. But ultimately, it's about the technique of it. And if you achieve the technique, then it'll taste good. All right, moist heat cooking methods. So boiling, poaching, steaming, we learn how to do those things, and we use different types of foods. We use vegetables. We use meat products as well for the dry heat cooking methods too. So they learn those skills and those methods as well. And then we do what's called combination cooking, where we take 2 or 3 different one of those methods or each of those methods and combine them to do combination cooking. So an example would be if we're going to do Swiss steak, for example, then we would saute that steak, then add some aromatics and some, broth or something like that to it, and then put it in the oven to braise. And so that's 2 different cooking methods. And I really stress that a lot because that's really popular in the food service industry these days. Okay, cost control. We're getting into the math side of things. So cost control. A restaurant, and I stress this from day one, especially students who are diehard fans of culinary, if you cannot be successful in the restaurant if you don't know how to cost out your recipe, if you don't know what to charge that particular dish for or how much to charge it for. Oftentimes, restaurants close within the first year because they don't hire an accountant, they don't properly cost out their food, they don't use food cost percentages and things like that, and then they lose money, can't pay the bills, and then they have to close the doors. So we spend a lot of time on that as well. It gets a little intense at times because, they have to cost out a recipe, determine how much each ingredient within that recipe costs, and then apply it to the menu, okay? Customer service. How many of you have been out there and been to a restaurant and said, you know what, the food was okay, but, I just didn't have a great experience. And basically, customer service is probably one of the most important things in the food service industry as well, because the food could taste good all day, but if you don't have a great experience, you don't want to return back to that restaurant. So I stress that to the students that, hospitality and, is a great experience, okay? How do you feel when you leave that restaurant? Did you feel good about what you ate and what you paid for? So we really spend a lot of time on that, and not only basic customer service, but front of the house, back of the house, and how they work together to achieve a good customer service status. All right, so let's talk about certifications again. So I alluded to or talked about earlier ServSafe. Now I want to talk about ProStart. ProStart is actually the curriculum that we use at the Greater Lafayette Career Academy, and I have an example right here of the books. And we use this material as other supplemental materials, but this is the Culinary Foundations book, and it's the second edition. This is level 2, so this would be for Culinary 2, but I'm still talking about Culinary 1. They actually could take a test at the end of the school year and achieve ProStart 1 or 2, depending on which one they're in, certification. So what that means is they actually get scholarship money to or for taking my class. And that's another thing I want to talk about too, is that scholarships are huge in culinary. I know a lot of people think that they can't achieve it, and a lot of people or students that are very academically inclined, their parents or a counselor may say, hey, you know what, I know you love culinary, but you're such a smart kid. And then they kind of, steer them into some other things. And I won't name any other careers, but culinary, there is a lot of scholarships and there are a lot of cool jobs within the industry. So, I just stress to them and show them how much money they could potentially earn in scholarships and certifications and things like that, and even some jobs that they can actually get too. So we'll talk about that pathway in just a second. Students who take Culinary 1 will also earn 5 Ivy Tech dual credits, and basically what that means is dual, meaning 2. I'm a certified dual credit teacher, so those students who take my class earn college credit while they're still in high school. So they're basically earning free college credits, and they can transfer those credits to their institution, in particular Ivy Tech, and then maybe test out some classes, advance further into the semester, whereas a student who didn't take dual credit has to start from the very beginning, and they may get 6 weeks, 9 weeks ahead of that student because they have dual credit abilities already. So that's very important as well, and that's what I stress to students too, is that you really, really need to take advantage of this opportunity because you're paying less for college because you're taking my class and earning dual credit. So that's very, very important. So speaking of pathway, so say that student earns those 5 credits and the 6 credits that they can earn in Culinary 2, they can then go to Ivy Tech, major in culinary arts, get their associate's degree there, and then transfer all those credits collectively together to Purdue and get their bachelor's maybe in food science, dietetics, something along those lines, and advance their career even further. So it's a win-win situation. A lot of moving around, but it's well worth it in the end. And I've had students earn a lot of scholarships. I have students totaling probably close to $1 million in scholarships. And it's just because they went to summer programs, they earned their certifications and things like that. So I really, really stress that we do that. Okay, Culinary 2. Okay, so Culinary 2 is Introduction to Baking and Pastry, and it's also food service nutrition, or nutrition in food service. So let's talk about Culinary 2 in terms of Intro to Baking and Pastry first. What I did was I split those up in 2 semesters. Okay, so students who are in Culinary 2, obviously they would have had to take Culinary 1 first. It's a prereq. They can't just go straight into Culinary 2. So if they take Culinary 2, basically what that means is they will do Intro to Baking and Pastry 1 semester, and I'm not going to say first semester because I may switch it up. It doesn't matter what semester we use or which one we apply it to, as long as the content is being taught. So they'll take Baking and Pastry 1 semester. They will take nutrition the 2nd semester. Now, this nutrition is a little bit different from nutrition and wellness. So let's talk about the pathway of that before I get any further into Culinary 2. So nutrition and wellness is the very first thing that you will take, and mostly freshmen and sophomores take that. I will say, try to get into it as a freshman so that you can get that under your belt and have room as a senior to take Culinary 2, because there's no possible way a junior can take Culinary 2, because if they're a sophomore and take nutrition and wellness, then they're going to take Intro to Culinary their junior year, and then their senior year will be Culinary 1. Okay, so let's talk about the order. Nutrition and wellness, Intro to Culinary Arts 1, which I just talked about, and then Culinary Arts 2. All right, so Culinary Arts 2, we talk about yeast spreads, and we do a lot more labs in Culinary 2 as well, actually in Culinary 1 as well too. So Culinary 2, we start with yeast spreads. We talk about lean dough versus rich doughs. We go into cookies, cakes, and pies. We do donuts, fritters, cobblers, and then we get into breakfast cookery. So breakfast cookery is a lot of fun to me because I love cooking breakfast and brunch. So these students have the opportunity, we translate or actually transfer all of those things that we learned with yeast breads and with cakes and cookies and pies and things like that. And we produce breakfast items. And we also talk about egg cookery and how to properly cook an egg because that's not as easy as you think it is. And I know a lot of home cooks think they're the best egg cookers, but there is a lot of technique to it. So then also we piggyback again on cost control. That's how important that I think costing out your menu and costing out food is so much that I put it in the curriculum because it's not really originally part of Culinary 2, but I wanted to hit it again because we have a student-ran restaurant here and they need to know those things, okay? They got to apply what they learn in the classroom to the restaurant, all right? With this certification, with this class, you get a ProStart 2 certification. So if those students take that ladder of culinary pathways, if you will, nutrition and wellness, intro, culinary 1, and then culinary 2, they could potentially have like 2 ProStart certifications underneath their belt, as well as a Serve Safe certification, and possibly some other scholarships with their 6 credits from Ivy Tech, they're dual credits. So Culinary 2 will be dual credit. There'll be 6 dual credits, okay? So 5 for Culinary 1, 6 for Culinary 2. So if they leave here and have taken Culinary 1 and 2 with me, that's a total of 11 dual credits that they could transfer into their culinary career post-secondary and basically, test out of a lot of classes. 11 credits. 11 credit hours is a lot, okay? So those students can really test out probably about 2 or 3, maybe even 4 classes, and maybe even start a year ahead of the regular students. I would say, it could possibly be a year, but definitely a semester. So they're, whereas it takes 18 months to get an associate's for most cases in culinary, a student could potentially graduate after 12 months with their associate's degree, which is awesome. And I've actually had I've had 3 students do that, as well as get their bachelor's in 2.5 years. So they are awesome students. So that's a little bit about what we do here in terms of Culinary 1 and 2, in terms of the curriculum, in terms of labs and things like that. So if anyone's watching and has any questions, I have a little prompt sheet here that I can answer. And I've actually answered most of them with what I talked about in terms of our layout and with the certifications and things like that. I will take a look and see if I missed anything just in case. How will this course prepare me for pursuing a career in the culinary field after graduation? That's a great question. Well, not only does it prepare you, but it sets you up for success as well. So basically what you do when you leave here, or what you could do, is I know that there are a lot, especially in the Greater Lafayette area, there are a lot of independent restaurants that are looking for students that have a culinary background. Not just regular students that just come out of high school or, I don't mean this in the way that it sounds, but off the streets and just go in and say, hey, I want to work in a restaurant. If they know a student has a culinary background and has maybe even been to culinary school, they're going to get that job over someone who does not have the basic background knowledge that a culinary student would have had. I get phone calls, emails all the time. I would say at least weekly from independent restaurants asking if I have a student that is looking for a job because they need someone to come out and do this. So not only does it help you for that, but it also helps that student gain more confidence. They're going to be confident going into the restaurant and in the food service industry because they have taken 2 years of culinary or 4 years of culinary. They have a degree behind them. So so the confidence and job hiring ability, employability is going to be huge when they leave here. How many certifications? I think we already talked about that. Training facilities. All right, so this is actually the culinary lab, and I think you've seen some of it. And do we want to walk to the restaurant? Okay. All right, so I'll just keep talking to you as we're walking. And I haven't walked backwards in a long time, so hopefully I don't trip and fall. So the students have their own lockers back there, and then we come out here. And to my left is the culinary room or culinary classroom, and basically what that is where we do our book work and where we really do a lot of serve safe training and all that good stuff. So we're going to come down to the restaurant. So we didn't get to open the restaurant this year because, as you all know, we had the fortunate circumstance of COVID taking over, and we just didn't have the time to do the restaurant, student-ran restaurant. But I'll turn on some lights. But this is the student-ran restaurant, and as you can see, the chairs are up because of cleaning stuff, and we're out of school. So this is the dining room, and when we designed it, we kept it pretty simple. Sleek, rustic, modern is the best terms to describe it. We went with neutral colors so that when and they're kind of, warm, so that when we decorate for the holidays or anything like that, we can go with any color palette that we want against these neutral tones. So this dining room could seat up to 150. And here's our private dining area. What we're trying to do, because we don't know exactly, well, I shouldn't say we don't know. We have a lot of ideas of when we're going to open and what style of dining we're going to do. But who are we catering to? Because it's during the school day. Some of the classes may not be at the ideal lunch hour. So we decided to do a private room so that we can cater to maybe local businesses that want to come in and hold a private meeting, a lunch meeting, something like that, and the students can cater it. All right? So that's what that would be for. And as we walk through here, this is where we enter into the back of the house. This is the server station. It isn't quite set up fully yet, but it will be by next year. And then we move into the actual where the magic happens. So this is our kitchen facility. This is our back of the house, as we call it in the restaurant industry. And this is basically where the students put all of the things that they learned in lab and in class into action. So this is our saute station. And as you can see, we have some convection ovens here. We have a steamer. This is the holding table with a heat lamp. We just switch the switch on, and they can keep the food hot while the servers are maybe getting their drinks ready or doing another task. And then if we walk around here, this is our grill station. So this is where we would do char grilling, steaks, burgers, fish, anything like that. And we also have a flat top grill as well. So anyway, that was a very, very quick overview of what we did. And if you have any questions, feel free to go to the website and email me or reach out via the website or any way else that you know. So thank you for your time, and I will talk to you later. No, you're okay. I just never get to talk about my programs.
We will be starting the next presentation momentarily.
Good evening. Welcome to our fourth segment of the first ever GLCA virtual open house. In this segment, you'll have an opportunity to learn about one of our off-site programs that we offer here at the Greater Lafayette Career Academy. That is our fire and rescue program. And shortly here, you'll learn a little bit more about that program with our instructor. My name is Jay Davis, and I'm the assistant director here at the Greater Lafayette Career Academy. It's my pleasure to be here with you this evening. As a reminder, the chat feature is active on YouTube. If you have any type of question that you would like to ask of the instructor, please feel free to chat over there on the right. You might have to log yourself in. I did that earlier today, but it's not a very long process. You hit a couple buttons and then you're able to chat in any question that you might have for the instructor, and we'll answer those as time allows. The purpose of this open house this evening is to let incoming students and members of the public and parents give them a little bit of information about our programs, give them a little virtual look at our building and some of the facilities that we offer here at the Career Academy. As you notice, I'm standing outside our main entrance to the Career Academy. It's located on the back side of our building, and our building's located at 18th Street and Teal Road here in Lafayette. The entrance to the Career Academy is actually on the back side of the building, and to access our facility, you would come south on 18th Street, and as you pass Teal Road, it would be your first left-hand turn, and that will bring you directly to our front entrance and to our parking lot. Transportation is always a question that students and parents have about students that attend the Career Academy. And we do offer bus transportation. All 5 of our sending schools will provide bus transportation to and from the Career Academy. So the buses will make their way in here as I described earlier, and I'm kind of standing right in a spot where the buses will pull up in the mornings to drop off students, come back at lunch, and then once again in the afternoon follow that same routine. If you're a student who drives, we have plenty of parking available, and I'll let our cameraman kind of scan the parking lot for us here to give you an idea of some of our parking facilities that we offer here at the Greater Lafayette Career Academy. We have over 200 parking spots for students to park in as they arrive and depart each day from our building. Class times, we offer our classes in the morning and in the afternoon. Each of our classes are 3-credit classes per semester, 6 credits per year. And if you come in the morning, you'll be in our building from approximately 8 o'clock until 10:10 a.m. in the morning. And if you're in the afternoon group, you'll arrive here around noon, and you'll get to go home or go back to your sending school around 2:10 in the afternoon. We offer a lot of information about the Career Academy on our website. So if you go to www.glcareeracademy.com, you can access such resources as student handbooks, curriculum guides, which explain dual credits, and certifications that are available here at the Career Academy. You'll also have a chance to catch up on our most recent activities. Most of those are usually posted right there on the home page when you open it up. There's also contact information for myself and instructors here at the Career Academy. So a wealth of information on our website. Once again, www.glcareeracademy.com. We also have an active Twitter page, that same address, at GL Career Academy. And if you look us up on there, you'll see some recently posted graduation student videos from some of our students who completed our programs this past year, and you'll also be able to see some videos specifically made for some of our programs here at the Career Academy. Well, we're going to do this one a little bit different than we did the earlier ones, as we have Captain Dave Stanley of the Lafayette Fire Department in our parking lot. And as our cameraman turns around, you'll notice that he's brought a fire truck with him this evening along with some equipment. So I'll just kind of make my way over to Dave as we walk over, and then we'll pass the microphone off to him, and we'll let him tell you a little bit more about his program. One more thing that I wanted to add before I pass off the microphone to Dave is that the GLCA will comply with all decisions set forth by the school corporations in Tippecanoe County, along with the Tippecanoe County Health Department, in regards to COVID-19 safety procedures and regulations. This local guidance will help to create the safest possible environment for GLCA students and staff. So without any further delay, I'll give this microphone a swipe, and I'll hand it over to Captain Dave Stanley. Thanks, Jay.
Hi, my name's Dave Stanley. I'm a training captain at the Lafayette Fire Department, and I do teach the high school program. I've got 21 years of experience, plus 5 as a volunteer. I'm certified in pretty much everything except for some of the specialties in tactical rescue. So the program we have, it goes through hazmat. Okay, so you will get your state certification in hazmat awareness. You'll get your state certification in hazmat operations. You'll get your mandatory firefighter, which would allow you at that point in time to be a volunteer firefighter. And then a firefighter 1 and firefighter 2. So those are pretty much the same programs that we have for our recruits that we hire in, and they go through that program. Some of them already have them when they get there, so they just go through a refresher. They don't have to retake their state certifications. So that is our goal, is to get our students to get their 5 state certifications and then either go to Ivy Tech, or in the state of Indiana now, there are fire departments starting to hire 18-year-olds as opposed to waiting till you're 21. So average pay for a firefighter, it was a question I asked, even being older, is $45,000 to $70,000 starting out as a firefighter. Okay, depends on location. So we try to lead this program into junior year, and then your senior year you can take EMT. You can also take your EMT class separate from the academy through another EMT program, but then that's expensive to go that route. So the best way to do that would be to go through the academy here and get your EMT. Okay, so our fire department requires the 5 certifications that I just gave you, EMT as well as hazmat tech. Okay, so those would be the programs you'd go through as a recruit on the Lafayette Fire Department. Okay, the fire department as well as law enforcement have both seen a decrease in the applications. It is a great career, so we're trying to push more people through that we can, and then you can go through the process. That's why a lot of places now are starting to go through and lower their ages to 18. So I know of at least 4, maybe 5 in the state of Indiana currently. Okay, and if you go through at 18, you get your 30 years in, you're still only 48 years old. Okay, so 52 is when you start collecting your pension. So you would be totally vested out with your pension by the time you hit 52. So at that point in time, you'd be 76% of a journeyman's pay for the Lafayette Fire Department in the state of Indiana. Okay. The process for getting on the fire department would be going through the application process, turning that in. You go through the lie detector test, a psych evaluation, a physical. Okay. Our PERF, which is our pension, requires a physical, and you go through their process to make sure that you qualify for a pension. Also, you would go through an interview process, and then you would get put on a list. We have a list, and with the way things have been going and the decrease in applications, we are now going to a 1-year list. There'll be 25 names on that list. You would be ranked. Okay, and then when we have openings and we start a recruit academy, we will start hiring through that list. Okay, so if you're available at that time, you're 21 years old. Okay, then you would start the process. Okay, you can actually turn an application in when you're 20, but you can't get hired on until you're 21 with the Lafayette Fire Department currently. Okay, our program is a dual credit program with Ivy Tech. So you get your 5 state certifications, or you go through the class, okay, and complete your requirements for each certification. Then you will have 12 credits towards Ivy Tech. Okay, so that's where we want to get people going. Okay, you can go to the fire science program at Ivy Tech, 2-year program, get your fire science degree. By that time you're 21, you come back, you could get hired on Lafayette Fire Department. Okay, if you are interested before that, which would help you in the application process, I work with enough of the volunteer programs around. As soon as you complete your mandatory fire, okay, I can help you get on a volunteer fire department. Okay, they want you to be 18 years old and graduated at that point in time, but I can get you on that process. Okay, it's a good way to serve your community, plus gain the experience you need for your application process. Okay, there are many different paths for firefighting. Okay, we're just not putting fires out. Okay, I'm on a district team. I actually have an accounting degree, so I'm the finance section chief for the District 4. Okay, so I've deployed in different locations to do that. That's my specialty. Okay, there are people who are trained in tactical rescue. So people stuck up on the radio towers that are there behind us. Okay, if you can pan those towers. Okay, somebody has to go up there and change those light bulbs. Okay, and every once in a while somebody goes up there and gets stuck. So we have people trained that will go up and get them. Okay, so that's one of our specialties. We have a dive team, water rescue team, okay, trench rescue, confined space rescue, okay, as well as hazardous material techs. Okay, we just had a leaking tanker that we offloaded some fuel to stop the leak. Okay, so we did a transfer there. Okay, so there's many different avenues. Like I said, we have a district team, but we also have people that are on federal teams. Okay, we have a USAR team, U.S. Search and Rescue team out of Indianapolis area. We have some of our firefighters that are on that team, and they have deployed to different states when there's emergencies going on. Okay, so there's many different avenues you can go through and learn about. We don't just put out fires. Probably 80% of what we do is medical. Okay, we also do car wrecks, house fires, any rescue that or problem that they don't know who to send, they'll send the fire department, and we'll figure it out. Okay, so let's see. Okay, our class is made up of classroom portion, Okay, we have PowerPoint, but we try not to kill you with PowerPoint. Okay, we'll have quizzes, we'll have lecture time. We break that up with practicals. Okay, so we'll go out and we'll ladder a building. You'll rescue a dummy out of a second floor building. I'll fill the building up with smoke, and you'll crawl around and try to find somebody in the dark where you can't see. There's 1 or 2 times during the year where we'll have live fire, so you actually have the heat and the smoke and the smell. Okay, you have fire department NFPA compliant gear that you'll be issued. You'll have SCBAs that you'll use. Okay, you will have a set of fire gear that you are issued. So you'll also be in hazmat gear. We call them Gumby suits. Okay, so you will be in a self-contained suit. If you have any issues with claustrophobia, we'll work through those. Okay, we will do physical training also. Being a firefighter is a very physical job, so we'll go through mazes. We'll do our work performance evaluation that we do as firefighters every year to make sure that we're fit enough for the job. Okay, so we'll go through that process.
We did have a question pop up in chat. One of the questions was, and they can't hear me, so you're going to have to reread it.
Okay.
They say, do they need an SAT score to join the fire department?
No, you do. The question that was asked was, do they need an SAT score to join the fire department? No, you do not need an SAT score to join the fire department. Okay. You do not need to have a college degree to join the fire department. Okay. This class is a high school class, and will help complete those qualifications you need for high school. So as well as getting the college credits if you want them. The good thing about the college credits is they won't disappear. Okay, those 12 hours of credits, as long as you complete the course, will last as long as you last. Okay, the certifications you get, if you pass the state test, they will last your entire life also. Okay, those don't have to be renewed. Okay, now when you get into using your EMT or obtaining your EMT, that is a process that has to be renewed every 2 years. Okay, and there are continuing education hours to get those credits.
Can you go over maybe a couple of the items we have on the table here?
Okay, I've got my bunker gear here. Okay, these are our fire boots here. This is our pants, our jackets, and our helmets. These would be gear that you would be issued. I have student gear. It's black and yellow. Okay. This is the SCBA. This allows us to breathe in our IDLH, immediately dangerous to life and health environments. Okay. You will wear this mask. Okay. With the SCBA. The total weight of air pack, gear, and mask is approximately 50 pounds. Okay, it used to be a lot heavier when these were steel tanks, but now they're composite. Okay, so they're a lot lighter than there used to be.
One of the questions that popped up, they were wondering, the very first day of class, what is that going to look like?
Okay, the first, somebody has asked what the first day of class will look like. Okay, we will go through a tour, okay, and we will start working on hazmat awareness. Okay, we want to jump right into getting our hazmat and going through that process. We will start with, we might do a little PT the first day, but there'll be some paperwork involved also to get things started. Okay, if I'm not got things going already. We will need to get physicals before school starts. If you do have an athletics physical, I believe from last year, that carries over this year. Okay, so yeah. Okay, and that is covered by you or your parents. Okay, if you have an issue with that, let me know, and we'll go through the school corporation, and they will help us out with that. Okay. Okay. If you have any questions, you can contact me. Okay. My email address, I believe, is on the website. Okay. If not, it's dlstanley, STANLEY, at lafayette.in.gov. Okay. Thank you.
Good evening, and welcome to our fifth segment of our first live GLCA virtual open house. In this 7 o'clock segment, you'll have a chance to meet our engineering and constructing instructor, and you'll also have a chance to learn about those two programs that we offer here at the Greater Lafayette Career Academy. Welcome to all of you who have decided to tune in this evening. I hope your evening's going well. I'd like to introduce myself. My name's Jay Davis. I'm the Assistant Director here at the Greater Lafayette Career Academy. And the purpose of this six-segment open house tonight is to give incoming students as well as parents and members of the community a virtual overview of our facility and tell people about our programs. And as I mentioned, this is the fifth one of these we've run tonight. We have one more segment to go after this one. The Greater Lafayette Career Academy is located at the corner of 18th Street and Teal Road here in Lafayette. It's located in the former Lafayette Life Insurance Building. I'm standing outside the main entrance of the Career Academy, and it's located on the back side of the building. If you are on Teal Road, you will pass the front side of the building, but to actually get to our entrance, you'll have to come south on 18th Street past Teal Road and then take your first left-hand turn. There's a sign pointing you to the main entrance. Where I'm standing is where our buses on a daily basis come and drop off our students and pick them back up. And speaking of buses, transportation is always a question that's brought up by students and parents alike. How are they going to get from their home school to the Career Academy and either get home or get back to their home school after their classes are over? Well, all 5 of the schools, public schools here in Tippecanoe County that send students to the Career Academy actually provide bus service for those students. So whether you go to West Lafayette or Oakland or Harrison or McCutcheon or Lafayette Jeff, bus service will be provided, and whether it's normally bus service from your school to here and then bus service back to your school where you would if you're in the afternoon, you would like piggyback a bus then to go home following that. But transportation services are provided. We offer 2 sections here at the Career Academy, a morning section and an afternoon section. The morning section begins at approximately 8 o'clock in the morning and runs till about 10:10 a.m. And then we have an afternoon session that picks up right around noon and lets out about 2:10 p.m. Our classes will earn you 3 credits per semester, 6 credits per year. So they're basically what we call 3-block classes. So you'll spend either the morning here or the afternoon here, and you'll complete your other classes at your home school. We offer a lot of information about the Greater Lafayette Career Academy on our website. If you go to www.glcareeracademy.com, you'll find out information such as curriculum guides for our classes, and that includes information about dual credits and certifications that we offer here, as well as some important course content. You'll also find resources like the student handbook that will be available to you, and you'll also find resources that will be available to you about upcoming events and current things going on at the Career Academy. Many times those are located right on the home page when you go to it. So once again, tune into our website for upcoming events, important information, and also resources on the Greater Lafayette Career Academy. We also have an active Twitter account. Go to that same address, at GL Career Academy. We've posted some success stories for our recently graduated seniors on there. You can find those. We've also posted some program videos that I know you will enjoy watching, and also some information about upcoming events here at the Career Academy. Well, enough about the general information about our building and about our programs. We're going to take you kind of on a short virtual tour here through the front door of the Career Academy and up into the building, where we will take you to the construction and engineering classroom to begin. I'm going to take about a 30-minute break here, and I'll be back with you to offer you some more information here shortly. we enter the building, we will be coming into what we call our atrium area. This was brand new, built when the Career Academy opened here in the fall of 2019. It's a favorite area where students like to gather, and they can charge phones, charge their laptops, visit. During breaks in our classes, they'll congregate out here and visit with each other. One more piece of information I wanted to offer you before we get down to our classroom is the GLCA will comply with all decisions set forth by the school corporations in Tippecanoe County, along with the Tippecanoe County Health Department in regards to COVID-19 safety procedures and regulations. This local guidance will help to create the safest possible environment for GLCA students and staff. And we have now arrived at the classroom area for engineering and construction. As I enter, you'll see our instructor, Mr. Aaron Kruger, and I will give this microphone a little quick wipe here, and I will hand it off and let Mr. Kruger tell you a little bit more about his program.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here this evening. Welcome. My name is Aaron Kruger, and I teach the construction and the engineering classes at GLCA. During the kind of little background about me, this is going to be my 10th year teaching, and most of my background is in construction. Past several years, I've been working for different local construction companies, and that gives me the chance to keep up on my skills and help form partnerships for my students to give them pathways right after high school. So first thing I want to talk about is this is our classroom. We use this classroom for both engineering and our construction classes. We have whiteboard tables. We have a full class of computers with all the latest CAD software, as well as most of the basic design and computer application software as well. So we use these for design, research, producing presentations, documents. We have webcams on them so we can have conferences with local experts if we need to. So for engineering class, I teach a couple different curriculums. The engineering design and development is usually what we start off with, and for that curriculum, students team up and they solve a design challenge that they choose. So this is an open-ended problem. They have to work with local experts, engineers, to figure out what the problem is, better define it, and then they come up with a design. They build a prototype, they test that prototype, and then they present their findings from that project. And on our way to our next classroom, I'll show you one of those projects from last year. Other curriculum that we work on is the civil engineering and architecture curriculum, and that curriculum also aligns with Ivy Tech, so they get dual credit for the engineering design class at Ivy Tech. And in that class, students construct architectural models, but probably one of the main components is they use Revit architecture, which is a professional design software used in industry. It's a building information modeling software. So in that software, they create residential designs, commercial designs, do structural analysis. Students also work on site survey and can add those into the software as well. So we have opportunities for partnerships, internships during the summertime and throughout the school year. So follow me this way, and I'm going to show you one of the other rooms we use. This is one of our posters from one of our teams that produced a reflective tarp that helped to keep the heat off artificial turf fields during the summertime. So they presented this at Ivy Tech at one of our events. So follow me this way. So over this way is where we take those designs and use some of our construction plans to actually build. So in here I'm going to start talking about our construction class. So for the construction class, some of the curriculum we use as far as textbooks go, we use the Career Connections textbook, which is produced by the Carpenters Union. We also use NCC ER textbook, their core training. And from those textbooks, from that curriculum, students work on projects and learn how to use tools to build their own toolbox that they take home. They also build the sawhorses that they use in class. And then one of our more advanced finishing projects, the Adirondack chair, where they put all of those layout skills to use and produce a very nice looking project. Also within that construction class, we partner with local companies. Bagel, the Builders Association of Greater Lafayette, donated $20,000 worth of tools and equipment. So we partner with companies that are part of that. We also partner with Gaylor Electric. They came in and our students built training walls and learned how to wire electrical service from where it comes into the building all the way to receptacles, switches, even a doorbell, low voltage system. So in this class, we have a lot of different tools. Students learn how to use all of them. We have SawStop table saw, which is the latest safety technology. We have a room full of hand power tools. I'll take you over here. So students really have the opportunity to use the tools of the trade that the professionals are using. And then other opportunities that students have, they get OSHA 10 safety certifications, pathway right into the Carpenters Union if that's something they choose, internships with any of our construction partners, anyone who's part of Bagel. Students can get right into apprenticeship programs. It really all depends on what those students are interested in. We have a lot of resources for them. If they're interested in, I can help them out and get them placed where they'd like to be. Do we have anyone live who has any questions? We do not study about aerospace engineering in this particular program. Yeah, so I'm going to go through some of the questions that we've been posed. Will I need to provide my own tools or any materials for the construction trades class? The answer is no. We have everything provided for you here. However, if there are things that help make you more comfortable, you have your own tape measure, your own safety glasses, things like that, you're welcome to bring those in. We have lockers for storage. Another question, who are some of your partners in the Lafayette area for both of those programs? So we are currently building partners, bringing in new partners for construction. Bagel, the Builders Association of Greater Lafayette, is a huge partner. There are many construction companies tied to them. Gaylor Electric is one of our big partners. We've done some work with KA Components. We were going to do some work partnering with some of the other companies, but due to school year ending a little bit early last year, we ran out of some of those opportunities. And then as far as the engineering class, we're still working on building some of those partners. Most of our partners have to do with a little more towards the surveying side of things, but I am working on a couple that are more engineering based currently. And then another question, will I need to have completed any entry-level Project Lead the Way courses before I can sign up to take the engineering course? You do need to take the intro class, the Intro to Engineering Design class, before you sign up for our class. Yes? that we can study, the engineering classes that we study here are the engineering design and development, which is the capstone class for Project Lead the Way, and the civil engineering and architecture class, which is also a Project Lead the Way class. And then another question, what are some of the projects that I might be able to complete in either of the courses? I went over some of that a little bit, but I'll recap a couple. In the engineering class, you and your team pretty much choose the project that you work on depending on what design challenge you want to solve. And then for the architectural design and civil engineering, we work on some models within class. And then for construction, we work on some projects through our textbook, like the toolbox, the sawhorse, the Adirondack chair. And then we also work on more large-scale projects, such as the electrical training wall. We have some clients who would like some sheds built, so we'll probably build some sheds next year as well. KA Components would like to give us the opportunity to have us build some of the walls that they use in some of their structures out in the parking lot, and then they'll trailer them over to their sites that they need them for. And then how much hands-on lab time will I spend for the construction trades class? I would say it's probably 75% hands-on, 25% textbook. Since safety is such a big deal and proper tool use, we always start off our different projects with how to perform them safely, how to use the tools required to complete those projects safely, and that often requires some textbook work or some computer work. So civil engineering class will probably start about a third of the way into the school year. I'll start with the engineering design and development class first, but I'll answer for both of those. So first day, we will go over some rules and procedures, and then I would say within day 2 or 3, we're going to start right away with curriculum, basic engineering concepts, how we do our documentation. And for the engineering design and development class, you're going to start brainstorming right away. What problem do you want to solve? What do you want to see better in the world? And then for the civil engineering class, we start off with architectural design concepts first. Any other questions? Okay. Well, I'd like to thank everyone for joining this live tour. Please feel free to email GLCA or use any of the communication methods that have been talked about so far. Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure giving you this tour, and I hope you stay tuned for our last tour of the evening. Okay. For the construction trades class, students do get a certificate from the Carpenters Union for completion. Let's see, other certificates. They will get a OSHA 10 certification for the construction class. And then for the engineering classes, I don't think there is a specific certificate for those classes. It's just completion of the Project Lead the Way classes. If you sign up for dual credit and pass the class, then you will get dual credit for the engineering design portion of the engineering class.
Good evening and welcome to our sixth and final segment of the first annual GLCA virtual open house, showcasing our programs here at the Greater Lafayette Career Academy. Beautiful sunset off to my right as I stand in front of the main entrance to the Greater Lafayette Career Academy. We're located here at the corner of Teal Road and 18th Street in Lafayette, Indiana, in the former Lafayette Life Insurance Building. My name's Jay Davis, and I'm the Assistant Director here at the Career Academy. And I hope that some of you are joining us live tonight. And if you're not joining us live, I hope some of you will pick up our recorded broadcast of our virtual open house, which will be available at a later date on the Greater Lafayette Career Academy website. The purpose of our open house, as I mentioned, is to give both incoming students and parents and those interested in the community a little closer look at our programs, and at the same time kind of a virtual tour of our building as we divided this into 6 segments. In each of the 6 segments we took a little trip from the main entrance here to the appropriate and designated areas of study that we have here at the Career Academy. As I said, I'm standing outside the main entrance here, and if you want to approach the Career Academy to get into our parking lot, the main entrance is located on the back side of the building. Many of you that are familiar with this building, if you're driving down Teal Road, you'll notice that there's an entrance there. We do not use that entrance. The only one we're currently using is the one I'm standing in front of. So if you're coming south on 18th Street, and you pass Teal Road, the very first left-hand turn you can make, and there's a sign out there that says Greater Lafayette Career Academy, is where you would come down. This is where our buses come each and every day in the mornings and also in the afternoons to drop off and pick up students from our 5 sending public high schools here in Tippecanoe County. So transportation is a question that we get from a lot of our incoming students and parents as well. And transportation is provided from each of those 5 schools here in Tippecanoe County. So whether you go to McCutcheon or Harrison or Lafayette Jeff or Oakland or West Lafayette, transportation via bus is available to you both to the Career Academy and back to your sending school. The buses, where I'm standing right now is basically where the buses drop off and pick up, but we also have a large parking lot, and I'll have them scan the camera around and show you a little bit of our parking lot area here. So those students that choose to drive to the Career Academy that are juniors and seniors, we have plenty of parking spaces available for you, over 200 plus spaces out here for students to park who drive themselves to and from the Career Academy each day. We offer morning and afternoon classes. Each of our class periods are what we call 3-block classes. You'll earn 3 credit hours for being here each semester, 6 credit hours for the year. If you come in the morning, your classes will begin at approximately 8 o'clock, and you'll get out of here about 10 after 10 a.m. in the morning. And if you come for the afternoon block, your classes will start at approximately noon, and you'll be released here around 2:10 each afternoon. A lot of information out there about the Greater Lafayette Career Academy, and a great source for that information is our website located at www.glcareeracademy.com. You'll find a lot of resources on there that'll be helpful to you. There's curriculum guides on there that will explain the content of our classes. We'll talk about certifications you can earn, dual credits you can earn in our classes here. There's also a student handbook out there. There's also a guide that will give you information about our instructors and how to contact them and how to contact the administrators here at the Greater Lafayette Career Academy. We also have a Twitter account that's live, and we've been posting some information in the last 6 weeks or so about student success stories of some of our seniors that just recently graduated here from the Career Academy, as well as upcoming events like this one and others that we have had, and also general information about upcoming events. So stay tuned to our website at glcareeracademy.com and also to our Twitter account at GL Career Academy for information about the upcoming school year and other events that are taking place here at GLCA. Well, for the last time, we've done this 6 times tonight, and for the last time, we're going to start our way into the building, and we're going to make our way down. And tonight, you're going to have a chance to meet our health science education instructor, and she's going to tell you a little bit about both our first-year health science program and our second-year health science program. So as you can see, we're on the move here, and I'm going to kind of temporarily turn off my microphone here for about the next 30 seconds as we make our way out from outside the building to inside the building, and I'll rejoin you when we get inside the building. We're now entering what I will describe as the atrium portion of our building. It's the first part of the building you'll see when you come in the main entrance. It was a totally new constructed area of our building when we opened here in August of 2019. It's a very comfortable area. Students like to gather here. It's a space where they can charge their phones, charge their laptops, just kind of sit and talk either before class, after class, or during break. And it's a very friendly area, and this past year got a lot of usage. One more thing I'd like to add as we're making our way down to the health science lab area is the GLCA will comply with all decisions set forth by the school corporations in Tippecanoe County, along with the Tippecanoe County Health Department in regards to COVID-19 safety procedures and regulations. This local guidance will help to create the safest possible environment for GLCA students and staff. Health Science program, one of our most popular programs here, and as I said, our instructor will tell you a little bit about the first year program in Health Science as well as the second year program in Health Science. And we are now entering the lab area of the Health Science education program. And as I make my way in here, I'll give my microphone one last swipe here, and I will hand it off to our instructor. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you to Mrs. Deborah Hutchison, our health science education instructor.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Hi, my name is Debbie Hutchison. I am the Health Science 1 and Health Science 2 instructor here at the Career Academy, and I kind of wanted to introduce some of my friends that we have that we take care of when we're here in the lab. What you're looking at is our huge, wonderful nursing lab that we use in both Health Science 1 and Health Science 2, and we have all the equipment necessary to learn how to take care of someone. So over here, this is Susie. Then we have Grandpa Joe, and then over here we have George. So each year the students name them different names, but as of now, that's their names. So Health Science 1, we'll start with Health Science 1. Health Science 1 is basically the fundamentals of caring for somebody. We learn the basics of patient care here in the lab, and we will get into the legal and ethical issues, what we do when somebody has an issue that maybe is beyond our understanding, how we deal with it and cope with it. We will get into career research and look at the different areas that you can become employed in healthcare. And we also will focus on anatomy and physiology and the basics of the body and how it works and the diseases and how the diseases affect us. And then we will also dwell into medical terminology. And I always say medical terminology is learning those great big words with all the letters of the alphabet that the doctors use, and we learn to break them down and understand what they mean. So that's basically Health Science 1 in a nutshell. And you will get 9 dual credits from Ivy Tech Community College, and you can take those on and move on into whatever career path you choose. Health Science 2 is our CNA prep. So CNA is Certified Nursing. And will learn the basics of becoming a certified nurse aide. You focus on the state curriculum. There are 30 lessons involved and 72 skills that you have to learn. So we start out in the classroom and then we move into the lab and we'll learn the skills with our guests here or with each other. We take turns being patients and nurses. And then once we have focused on all the skills and you have a basic understanding of what to do, this is all first semester. Second semester, we will then go out into and you will apply them to real people. And we do that. And once you have met all the requirements for the CNA prep, you then can apply and take a state certification exam administered by Ivy Tech and become certified and then employed. And also within that area of training, we learn about dementia and dementia care. And it is 3 hours through Ivy Tech, and it is a certification as well. And you're just learning about how to take care of people that have Alzheimer's disease or other dementia-related issues and just need some guidance and general focus on their day-to-day activities. And when you're finished and you're certified, you can go and seek employment outside of, you can go to a long facility, you can go to a hospital setting, you can become a home health aide, work for a visiting nurse agency. There's many avenues that you can become employed as a CNA. So that's kind of basically health sciences in a nutshell. Do you need to take Health Science 1 to be? No. You can both. It is great if you do because you're going to learn so many different things, but it is not required. You can be in Health Science 2 and it is typically your senior year. You wear scrubs, and you will wear scrubs in the lab when we're in here 2 to 3 days a week in the beginning. And then when we go out into the clinical setting, you are required to wear your scrubs 4 days a week, which is Tuesday through Friday. First year, Health Science 1, I always say first year is really not first year, but Health Science 1, we wear scrubs 1 to 2 days a week. And we are planning on doing some shadowing this next year at one of our local healthcare facilities. Keep our fingers crossed that that can happen. So that's basically what we do here. We have a lot of fun in the lab. We shave balloons. We lift and move each other. There's lots of things that we learn to do that will help you when you get out there in the world of healthcare. So if you're at all interested in becoming anything in healthcare, not just nurses, this is probably the program that you should consider. So, thank you.
One of the questions is how do students go getting these scrubs? Do they go to where do they go to? Is it a special spot?
Okay. You go about getting your scrub, basically what we did last year, and I hope to continue that. I worked out a deal with the scrubs, the uniform shop up here in Lafayette, the local shop, and they gave us a discount on a set of scrubs. And so we had sizes to try them on, and then I went and ordered them for everyone. The students paid me, and then in turn I paid the scrub shop through GLCA, and then they brought all the scrubs to us, and you had your scrubs delivered here. So basically I take care of it for you. And hopefully that will continue again this year. You need 1 pair, but I recommend 2 pair because you can't wear the same set of scrubs every day. And I'm sure you don't do laundry every night. So I tell the students that 2 pair are best because then you can alternate and wash one every night. So, and there are other uniform requirements such as certain tennis shoes or nursing shoes. No boots or anything of that nature, comfortable shoes. You can't wear clogs. You can't wear anything with holes in them or no backs. So there's some requirements in what we wear in nursing or in healthcare. So we meet those requirements.
One of the other things, so in terms of like going to clinicals, get the hours you need for the CNA stuff, is transportation provided for that, or how does that work?
Yes, transportation is provided. You will leave here from the academy and travel to the facility, which right now we are using the Indiana Veterans Home. They are one of our partners and they are wonderful. But you can also drive to the facility as well. So like a lot of my Harrison kids, they would drive straight to the facility and West Lafayette as well, because it's closer for them rather than driving all the way to the academy and then getting on the bus and doing the same thing back. So either way, there's transportation provided or you're able to drive yourself. Well, if you have any questions, you can find me on the GLCA website. Please shoot me an email, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you have regarding the program. I didn't really dwell into the curriculum part of it. There's a lot there, and we break it down and make it simple, but yet we learn a lot. So if you have any questions, please find me on the website, and I will be more than happy to answer any of your questions. And I hope you all have a wonderful summer. Mr. Davis.
So I want to thank everyone for taking part. Those of you that typed some questions in for us on the chats tonight, we appreciate that as well. Not really sure how many total people we had in and out here, but I'm going to guess it was a good number. Thank you to our school corporations for getting out the information to incoming GLCA students. And once again, I mentioned it, I think, during the third segment. I want to thank our technology specialist, Mr. Madlung, and also administrative assistant, Mrs. Pelfrey, for helping out with this. They basically were busy every minute of the 3 hours that we put this on, and I truly appreciate their help. Thanks also to our director here, Mrs. Miranda Hutchison, for all of her support and help in putting this event together. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Stay tuned to the GLCA website for more information about this upcoming school year. And remember, tell your friends if they missed this video event, we're going to break it into segments for each program. We're going to post it on our website sometime here in the near future. Thanks again for being with us. Have a great evening.